Let's go over the Star Wars franchise when it comes to actor Mark Hamill and what he had to say of what he wanted to see in the sequel trilogy. This is Mike Zero here. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, as you all know, in The Force Awakens, we witnessed the death of Han Solo, hence preventing us from getting that reunion that we were all expecting pre-The Force Awakens release date between both Han, Leia, and Luke Skywalker. Little did we know that Han Solo would be killed off by his one and only son, Ben Solo, who is now Kylo Ren. Now, fast forward to The Last Jedi, thankfully we got the reunion between both Luke and Leia on the planet Crate, though technically Luke was not there, so the thing that I'm looking forward to the most in Episode 9 is if JJ can somehow give us an actual reunion between both Luke and Leia, where perhaps she sees his Force ghost, or maybe even in the form of a flashback, where we do have scenes of both Mark Hamill and Carrie Fisher, somehow by using unused footage for Carrie from The Force Awakens. But anyways, I wanted to go over what Mark Hamill had to say about his view on the sequel trilogy. He is a man who really speaks his mind a lot of the times, and especially when it comes to what he would have loved to see in the sequel trilogy, starting off with The Force Awakens, leading into The Last Jedi, etc., all of which had to do with a big reunion between Han Solo, Luke, Chewbacca, and Leia, etc. So this is what Mark Hamill had to say. Now, remember, one of the plots in the earlier films was the telepathic communication between my sister and me, so I thought Carrie will sense that Han is in danger and try to contact me, and she won't succeed, and in frustration, she'll go herself. Okay? This is very interesting stuff for sure. Mark goes on to explain, then we're in the situation where all three of us are together, which is one of my favorite things in the original film. When we were on the Death Star, it's just got a fun dynamic to it, so I thought it would have been more effective, and still, I feel this way, though it's just my opinion, that Leia would make it as far as she can, and right when she is apprehended, maybe even facing death, ba-boom, I come in and blow the guy away, and the two of us go to where Han is facing off with his son, but we're too late. The reason that's important is that we witness his death, which carries enormous personal resonance into the next picture. As it is, Chewie's there, and how much can you get out of passable Chewbacca wail and his screaming, and two people who have known each other for Han for like what, 20 minutes? That's what he had to say about the sequel trilogy and what he actually would have loved to happen for The Force Awakens leading into The Last Jedi, where they would have had a reunion in a sense where all three characters are together on screen. Now, both Luke and Leia together would have witnessed the death of Han Solo, and Han Solo may have even known that they were there. Now, that to me, I think that would have been the perfect way to essentially execute that scene on screen for The Force Awakens. I felt like that was a missing piece when Han Solo got killed off by Ben Solo. I really feel like that Leia should have been there. I also feel like that Luke Skywalker should have felt the danger coming to Han, and he would have rushed to his aid. Now, the reason as to all of this, and this is why Rian Johnson implemented this idea in The Last Jedi, is that Luke Skywalker cut himself off from the Force. This is the sole reason as to why he did not sense the destruction of the Hosnian system. Alright, millions, if not billions of people killed instantly by Starkiller Base and the firing, that it did on the Hosnian system, and he didn't even get to feel the death of Han Solo. So that to me, I think it would have had a more emotional impact, at the very least, if maybe Luke Skywalker felt this all happening, during his time on Ahch-To. So I guess, they applied the idea of him cutting himself off from the Force to make him, kind of like justify his reasons as to not rushing to his or their aid when it comes to the Hosnian system and Han Solo. But that's what Mark Hamill had to say about what he wanted to happen in the sequel trilogy, specifically with those characters of Han, Luke, Leia, Chewbacca, you name it. And I personally think that would have been amazing. I think that this is something that J.J. Abrams should have really done. And like I have said numerous times before in the past, I feel like that Han Solo should have lived it out until Episode 8. where he had more scenes between himself and his son, and it would have had a more emotional impact if they boosted the familiarity, where these two characters spent more time on screen together before Han Solo's death. Now, in case you guys didn't know, regardless of who was a part of The Force Awakens, Michael Arndt, Lawrence Kasdan, J.J. Abrams, Han Solo was always marked for death. There was never any original plan of having him, survive out of The Force Awakens into The Last Jedi. He was always marked to die, which is something that I just wish that they actually could have just saved that till Episode 8. And something tells me that they only did this because Harrison Ford wanted this to happen in Episode 7. Yet, he's already doing an Indiana Jones movie, so I don't know why he would want that. I think that, he's a great actor, and to have him back for Episode 8 at the time would have been amazing. If they just boosted that familiarity a little bit more between himself and Ben, and then having Han Solo's death be in the middle of the sequel trilogy, where then Luke Skywalker's death could be at the very end of Episode 9, I think that everything would have worked out a whole lot better. But anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.